So for me, it's about time I started to think about what I want to give people for Christmas. And that's because I want to make quite a few of these items handmade. I'm definitely going to be doing a mix this year of handmade gifts, things that I've knitted for people, and also some other gifts that I think that people will just really, really like. Unfortunately, I don't have time to make all my gifts this year, so I'm definitely doing quite a mixed bag, but trying to put in as much effort as possible. I thought today we could have a little bit of a crafty vlog, so I'm making a banana bread, I'm going to make some coffee, and I'm going to sit down and talk you through all of my Christmas plans, what I'm going to make, and start actually making them. Before we get into the video, I just want to say a massive thank you to Linjer for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I've talked about Linjer before as they're a wonderful, sustainable company that make ethical jewelry. But you've probably seen that I wear their jewelry like pretty much every day since I last worked with them. I really wanted a sort of in-between necklace, and I wear this one every single day. I literally never take it off, and I also wear their rings. But I really enjoy when people mix gold and silver jewelry together. So I ended up getting a gold ring, and I also got some September birthstone earrings, which I just think would go so nicely with my other very, very, very plain silver earrings. So I just want to tell you a little bit about Linjer because they use recycled gold and silver, and they have conflict-free diamonds. And I personally think that they have a really beautiful and timeless design. All of their pieces and their production are very thoughtful, all the way down to their packaging, which is recycled and sustainable. Sustainability really is at the core of their brand. Not only do they use recycled materials, but they also build their products to last, and they only use fine metals like solid gold, sterling silver, and gold vermeil, which is sterling silver plated with a thick layer of gold. There's no fast fashion brass here. To ensure that their diamonds are conflict free, they use lab grown. And the way they make their Linjer gold vermeil pieces, it means they'll outlast regular gold plate and flash plated jewelry by many years. They also do have solid gold pieces for real forever pieces, but if solid gold is out of your budget, then gold vermeil is the next best thing. I'm a really big fan of their birthstones because I think they're really beautiful, and I think it makes a really sentimental piece. So I'm actually going to get my sister-in-law some birthstone earrings for her birthday, which is coming up this December. I'm a fan of Linjer, and I think just from showing that I wear their pieces every single day, and I have worn my necklace every single day since I got it, not only does it show that I actually like these pieces, but it shows the quality of these pieces too. My necklace still looks absolutely brand new, and I love wearing it every single day. If you're interested in checking out Linjer for yourself, or if you're thinking ahead to Christmas or a birthday, then make sure to check them out in the description below. Okay, I'm just about to sit down and do some planning for my Christmas presents, and I've just been thinking about lots of different things that I can do for people, some that will take quite a lot of time, some that will just take a bit of thinking but won't actually take a lot of time, and then some other just more creative ways of making things that are really thoughtful for people. I'm also going to be buying some things for people because, as always, I want to get people things that they actually want and will actually use. And I just think that that's a very important thing to consider, because if you get something that you think they'll like or that you want to give them, then it's kind of a waste because you don't know if that item will actually get used. So I always recommend asking for, lists of things that they actually want. Or throughout the year, I tend to really try to listen to what people say that they're interested in, things that they like, things that they've noticed but they wouldn't get themselves, and then I just make a little note. But I do have a few ideas of things I'm going to make for people, but I forget things. Things just honestly fall out of my brain, so I'm going to sit down and we can make a little bit of a plan. Okay, I am truly nothing without my list, so I'm going to start writing lists down, and I'll show you the things that I'm currently working on. So I have a couple of friends who love a chunky beanie, so I've actually started making a beanie, and I actually use this to do a tutorial on the magic loop / traveling loop on my knitting Instagram and YouTube. But I am currently making one of these. It is very chunky as per their request. I'm just going to do a blue and white striped, but I'm going to do the bottom bit. It's going to be all blue, and then it's going to be blue and white striped at the top, kind of give it a bit more contrast. So that's one thing that I'm currently working on. Now, this Dagmar jumper was going to be for me. I'm now rethinking whether this would actually be a good gifted item. So I'm thinking about that, especially because I've made so much progress on it already that I have almost finished the body, and it is already November, guys. So I'm a little worried about that. The other thing that I'm working on that I have made some good progress which I showed you earlier in this video, is the terracotta sweater that I've been working on. I am going to work on that predominantly today. I did unfortunately finish this textured section and realize I had done the wrong textured pattern, but I'm not going to undo that because that took me quite a few hours. These needles that I'm working with, I think they're 4mm, and then for the textures like 3.5mm. That's too painful to undo. Okay, so apart from that, I'm gonna make my mum a cabled cardigan, and I actually talked about it on a short or in a different video, and I think it was a short, and I got a lot of really good ideas from you about which one to do, because I really wanted a cable one, but I couldn't find one that I really liked. And one of you mentioned that you had made the Cara sweater by, I think, Linjer. Yes, by Linjer. And I liked the Cara sweater, but I actually loved the Cara cardigan, and I thought that that would look really good on my mum. So that is the one that I'm going to go for. I'll put a picture up of what it's going to look like. This is available on Ravelry or on her website, Linjer. I personally think that cables make something look a lot more intricate and, I don't know, I guess hard, but really cables are very straightforward. It just takes a little bit of time of getting used to. You're basically just moving things onto a third needle to hold at the front or the back, and then changing the order in which you knit those stitches. Honestly, that's pretty much it. Okay, so that's the Cara cardigan. I'm also going to be making my sister-in-law the Stay Toasty scarf by Kutovakika. I'm sure you've heard of her. She's got a really great YouTube channel, and I'm going to make her Stay Toasty scarf. I think it's really pretty, and I think it's just a little bit more interesting in terms of what the pattern looks like. She uses pearls really interestingly to create a different kind of texture, and then there's some ribbing look texture in there as well, which I think looks really nice. So those are the handmade items that I am going to work on predominantly, but then I'm also going to work on putting together a few knit kits for some friends and some crochet kits for people who want to get into those things but don't really know where to start. So I'm going to buy them a pattern, and I'll print that pattern off. Then I will get them the needles that they need, the yarn, and then put it in a box with some clear instructions on what they need to do. Because I think one of the hardest things with people when they start a new hobby, for example, is they don't know what they need. So I'm going to put some knit kits together, but you don't have to just do this for knit kits. You can do this for honestly any kind of hobby that any of your friends or family are wanting to get into. For example, I've taken up realistic drawings this year with predominantly coloured pencils. So if you have a friend or a loved one that really wants to get into coloured pencils and drawing and things like that, you could put together a little kit that they might need. It could be buying a subscription to something, or it could literally just be a little card saying go and watch this video, or giving them a colouring book or a set of coloured pencils and a book and a sharpener and a rubber. You know, just putting together a little kit like that can be so helpful. Another thing I'm thinking of doing is doing some food prep or some meal prep. One of my friends is just about to have a baby, and also my parents don't love cooking all the time, and I'm going back home for Christmas this year, so I thought maybe doing some meal prep of some of their favorite meals and putting them in the freezer, labeling them, that kind of thing could be a really nice and thoughtful gift that isn't necessarily stuff, but is also something that people who love food would enjoy. Okay, so those are just the kind of things that I'm thinking about right now. Obviously, I have a lot of work to do. I am going to really try and spend a lot of my evenings working on the terracotta sweater. That's also by Linjer, by the way, if I didn't say that already. I want to try and get as much of that done as possible, because I've ordered some yarn for my mum's cardigan, but that hasn't arrived yet. So before that arrives, I'm going to try and do that. I haven't ordered any yarn for my sister-in-law's scarf yet, because I'm going to wait until I've got through the majority of these, because that scarf really will not take me very long. But I'm going to write my plan now, and I think having a plan is a good idea. And especially if you think about these things early, you can strategically take advantage on sales and stuff like that. I think sales do have their place, especially if you're on a tighter budget, or if there's just something that you know is going to come on sale. There's no reason not to save yourself some money if you're able to get something you've already thought of and planned for Christmas or any other holiday that you celebrate. So I'm going to write my plan, and then I'm going to start knitting because I have a lot to get done. Okay, I've just finished the last color work section before doing just a couple more rows and then joining in the round, which is a very exciting moment because it feels like the first stage of making the jumper is done. So I'm going to keep working on this, and then I'll show you my progress once I've finally joined in the round. I'm very happy with the contrast. It just makes the color work stand out so clearly. Okay, so I joined in the round last night and I just finished the middle texture section. I'm doing a couple of rounds of just plain stockinette stitch and then I'm about to start the next colorwork section. I'm actually surprised at, I don't know, when I just put in some good hours in the evening, how much I can actually get done. So I'm feeling a lot more optimistic about this, but I've got to put this away because I'm editing another video for today. But yeah, I'm very pleased with my progress so far. Hopefully the yarn for all my other projects will arrive soon. I'm gonna make an Oslo hat for my dad and an Oslo hat for my brother. I think that those are realistic things that I'll be able to make, but I'll keep you updated. Okay, I've also made quite a bit of progress on my mum's cardigan. It's the Cara cardigan by Linjer. I think I've already mentioned that. Now that I've got the hang of it, it's absolutely fine, it's going fine, but it's definitely this is probably the hardest cable that I've made. I've made her Siri cardigan before, and I've also made, or I'm making the Dagmar sweater by PetiteKnit, but this is very much more complicated. But this is what we have so far. Obviously it's not much. Yeah, so we have quite a lot of different cabling going on. We've got honeycomb, and then we have one that's like, but we have honeycomb on the front, then it goes to extra ones, and then back to honeycomb on the back. And then obviously we have the raglan increases as well. So this is what I've done so far. It's quite dark, so it's hard for you to see, but we've got some cables each side of the raglan, and then we have honeycomb on the back, and then each side of the raglan. I'm going to work on this evening after I've got as far as I can on the Stay Toasty one, because I think that that's actually going to go quite quickly. I'm enjoying the repetitive nature of it now that I kind of understand what the pattern is telling me to do. I'm excited for this one though. This is like, I'm learning something and it's going well. And this is exactly what my mum wanted. And it's in this really nice dark green that she also wanted. If you're watching this, Mum, stop watching. Okay, I don't want you to see the rest of the pattern. I don't want you to see your present. But I will be very happy once the raglan increases are done and I can split off for the sleeves and then just gonna work straight. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with how this is turning out. I have to pay quite a lot of attention though to each round, otherwise I make a mistake and then I have to correct that mistake on the wrong side, which I don't love. Okay, so I worked on the Stay Toasty scarf all evening, and unfortunately I went to measure it before I started the second half just to make sure everything was all good. And unfortunately it is too short and it's not quite long enough, even with the possibility of blocking out quite a lot. So I've realized that I actually have to undo it and start again, and that's mainly because I thought that I wouldn't have to hold the yarn double because she was using a lace weight and I was using a kind of light, it says light DK, but it kind of feels like it's just thicker than fingering, so I thought it would be fine, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But luckily I have another ball of this. I'm gonna have to unravel it. And that's okay. We're just gonna do it together. Okay, we're just gonna do it together so I feel better about it. But at least I don't have to start fully again. Oh, this hurts my soul. Anyway, I'm gonna unravel this, and I was having a think about a different handmade gift that I could make people. And I was thinking, because sourdough, ooh, it's a bit dark, 1 second. That's better. So I was thinking of another gift, and because my sourdough starter is like very, very, very healthy, I've seen people dry their own starter. So I was thinking of, because I have a dehydrator because I make my own backpacking meals, I was thinking of dehydrating my starter and gifting that to people. I know I obviously can't gift that internationally, but I think domestically I can gift it. So I'm gonna give that a go. I might actually do that now because I've started 2 starters. Oh, this is so sad. This is so sad. I'm thinking of doing that now because I have 2 starters. For just in case I kill one by accident. But I'm filming a video where it's like everything I made with my sourdough starter, so I had to have a lot of extra starter. So I feel like now is the perfect time to dehydrate that. So I'm just gonna quickly finish unraveling this and then I will dehydrate my starter. But I would be really interested to know if you guys have any ideas for handmade items that aren't necessarily, you know, just knitting something or crocheting something, kind of like what I was talking earlier about in terms of the kits and making kits for people. Doing meal prep for people I think is a really nice idea. Dehydrating my starter I think is a really nice idea. People make a lot of homemade vanilla extract or essence, for example. That's always a nice thing to make. But yeah, I'm just thinking of other ideas of what I can make things for people. I think it's really important to think about what you have time for and where your skills lie. That's kind of why I've predominantly gone with knitting things. And considering this mostly took me one whole evening, that's why I'm sad about this, but I'm not like devastated that I have to redo this because it didn't take me as long as I thought it would, which is nice. And at least now I kind of understand how the pattern goes. Yeah, it's important to kind of stick with something that's realistic with what you think you could do in the time that you have, what your budget is, what your skills are, and all that kind of stuff. So I would love to know what your skills are, what you're going to make for people. Okay, this is almost done. I'm going to get my dehydrator out because I'm quite interested to see how the starter turns out. I think it would be very interesting. Okay, so from a quick little search on the internet, I should have done a thin layer. I did quite a thick layer because I wanted to use quite a lot, so I'm just going to put it on for longer. It said about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37-ish centigrade. So I kind of just went with 99 because I thought that made sense to me. So we'll see. But I put it on for about 7 hours because I think a thin layer, they said 4 to 6. So I just put it on for a little bit longer because you want it to be brittle. So we'll see how this goes in the end, but I am very excited. Unfortunately, I did spend some time watching it even though I knew nothing would happen. But yeah, I'm excited to update you on this. I would feel disheartened by the fact that I had to unravel my whole scarf, but also at the same time, I make a lot more effort for gift knits than I do for my own knits. Not that I don't make a lot of effort. I am starting to undo and redo things, but it is what it is, and I'm happy. I'm very interested to see how the sourdough starter turns out, so I'll update you in the next video, but we are getting a lot more casual content for Christmas, cozy vibes, baking, handmade stuff, all that kind of fun things. I am already looking forward to Christmas, to be honest, and I don't care that it's early November. I am ready. I am ready to start getting cozy and have something to look forward to. Yeah, that's it really. That's it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was very casual. I'm just trying to put out more things about the projects that I'm working on and the things I'm thinking about because I know I tend to do things a lot that I just don't include in videos, but someone might find this interesting or helpful. So I am going to continue working on my projects and hopefully I'll have a really good update for you in maybe a couple of weeks when I finish a couple of things. But this evening I'm going to probably work on my mum's cardigan, get some more way through that rather than go back to the Toasty scarf because I can't really face restarting that quite yet now that I've unraveled it and rolled it back into a ball. Anyway, would love to hear what you're making and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you put me on while you ate your lunch or cleaned your house or I just kept you company a little bit. So yeah, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Can you see how dark it is in here? Can you see how dark? It's literally 4 p.m.